And to complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. And here are the top stories. Good evening. Malacanang believes that President Rodrigo Duterte was just stressing a more important point when he made the controversial remark on extrajudicial killings. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says the president was not serious when he made a statement and was just being himself in highlighting that he never had a single strain of corruption. Roque also explains that the president's statement was not self-incriminating because it was not done under oath. Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Attorney Salvador Panelo was also quick to defend the president, saying Duterte actually meant that the spate of extrajudicial killings is the only issue against him under his leadership. Duterte's drug war has earned massive criticisms here and abroad. Complaints have been filed in the International Criminal Court against the president for his role in the alleged mass murder of drug suspects under his anti-illegal drugs campaign. The Armed Forces of the Philippines urges the public not to join any assemblies that are organized by left-leaning groups. AFP Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations Brigadier General Antonio Pardale Jr. says this is to ensure their safety amid alleged plots by the Communist Party of the Philippines, which will culminate in the Red October ouster plan against President Rodrigo Duterte. Pardale earlier said during an interview with UNTV News and Rescue that the Reds are planning to mount a rally where they will detonate a bomb to injure people and pin the blame on the Duterte administration.
Mag-attend sila ng mga rallies, tingnan nila kung sinong nag-organize ng mga rallies. When you see those acronyms, LFS, Gabriela na yan, yung karapatan na yan, these are communist organizations. Malinaw po yun. Malinaw yun. So, yun ang mga ingatan nila.
But Gabriela Women's Party List vehemently denies the allegation, saying the AFP is just trying to curtail the freedom of expression.
Pinubusalan nito ng todo ang mga tao, no? O di kaya tinatakot, pinangungunahan na takutin ang mga tao na huwag kayong magsalita laban sa gobyerno na ito.
The Commission on Elections advises voters registration applicants to be patient as they expect long queues in the last day of voters registration tomorrow. COMELEC Director and spokesperson James Jimenez says there will be no extension on voter registration, which started last July 2. Jimenez also says that registrants may proceed to the office of the election office in their city, municipality, or any satellite registration site on their area from 8 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. Applicants should also bring original and photocopies of their valid identification cards or ID to be presented when registering, reactivating, or requesting to correct or transfer the records.
I just hope that people who come to register tomorrow will be aware na talagang mahaba ang pila, no? And that there will probably be people who might not get the result that they want. So maybe, next time come earlier.
The Boracay Interagency Task Force is set to conduct a dry run from October 15 to 25 for the partial reopening of Boracay Island on October 26. Authorities says only local tourists will be allowed to enter Boracay during the dry run, which aims to assess every aspect prior to the island's reopening to tourists. The Boracay Task Force also vows to strictly manage the number of visitors to only 19,215 per day to minimize damage to the environment. A study conducted by the DNR shows that the island's carrying capacity was beyond threshold, causing its environmental health and water quality to worsen. The task force also reports that only 25 hotels and resorts have complied so far with all the requirements to resume operations. But the Tourism Department believes that more establishments will be able to complete the requirements after the island's reopening.
As we go along, kung may nag-comply with the DENR, DILG, at DOT, madadagdagan siya. Even after October 26.
Meanwhile, farmers in Benguet are now working to rehabilitate their strawberry and lettuce fields that were ravaged by Typhoon Ampang. Farmers says they need to repair and replant seeds in order to resume the strawberry picking package they offer to tourists for additional income. Based on the report of the Department of Agriculture, Cordillera Administrative Region, Typhoon Ampang left more than 4 billion pesos in agricultural damages. The fisheries sector also sustained damages initially pegged at 21.8 million after boats and fish ponds were washed out. Water consumers are advised to brace for another increase in water rates after the Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System approved the petition of 2 water concessionaires. Manila water consumers with monthly consumption of an average amount of below 10 cubic meters each month will see an increase of 5 pesos and 68 centavos on their bill next month, while those consuming 15 and 25 cubic meters will have an adjusted cost of 9 and 19 pesos respectively. Maynilad consumers, meanwhile, who are consuming below 10 cubic meters will see a net increase of 2 pesos and 40 centavos, while those consuming 10 to 30 cubic meters will have to pay 7 to 13 pesos more. MWSS Chief Regulator Patrick T. says the water rate hikes will be implemented in tranches or branches over the next 4 years. He also defends the decision, saying it went through months of study and consultations.
Kaya po nagkaroon ng rate adjustment po ngayon dahil kailangan na po nila. Umaaray na po sila dahil 10 years na po hindi nagkaroon ng rate adjustment sa R or sa rate rebasing.
Typhoon Ampang is expected to exit the Philippine area of responsibility on a Saturday morning. Pag-asa reports that as of 4 p.m., Typhoon Ampang was spotted at 615 kilometers east-northeast of Basco, Batanes. It is packing maximum sustained winds of 160 kilometers per hour with gustiness of up to 195 kilometers per hour as it moves northwest at the speed of 15 kilometers per hour. Pag-asa says Ampang will not affect any part of the country and good weather will prevail over the weekend with possibilities of isolated rain showers. Meanwhile, another tropical depression is seen to enter the Philippine area of responsibility next week. It was last located at 2,625 kilometers east of Mindanao, and once it enters Bar by Tuesday, it will be named Queenie. The State Weather Bureau says the cyclone might affect the extreme northern zone next week. And for the news abroad, here's Stephanie C. from Hong Kong. Yes, Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening, Rina. A tearful and angry Judge Brett Kavanaugh testifies before the Senate on sexual assault allegations ahead of the voting for the confirmation of his Supreme Court nomination. Beverly Saison tells us why.
Fighting to salvage his nomination to the Supreme Court, Judge Brett Kavanaugh angrily and tearfully denied Christine Blasey Ford accusations that he sexually assaulted her 36 years ago. Christine Blasey Ford, her voice sometimes cracking with emotion, appeared in public for the first time to detail her allegation against Kavanaugh, a conservative federal appeals court judge chosen by President Donald Trump for a lifetime job on the top U.S. court. Ford, a psychology professor at Palo Alto University in California, said over 4 hours of testimony that a drunken Kavanaugh attacked her and tried to remove her clothing at a gathering of teenagers when he was 17 years old and she was 15 in 1982.
Dr. Ford, with what degree of certainty do you believe Brett Kavanaugh assaulted you?
100%.
100%.
Kavanaugh testified after Ford finished her appearance, and they were never in the hearing room together.
I ask you to judge me by the standard that you would want applied to your father, your husband, your brother, or your son. My family and I intend no ill will toward Dr. Ford or her family. But I swear today, under oath, before the Senate and the nation, before my family and God, I am innocent of this charge.
Calling himself a victim of grotesque and obvious character assassination, Kavanaugh, speaking passionately, said he unequivocally and categorically denied Ford's allegation.
And I called for a hearing immediately.
Kavanaugh at times choked back tears, especially when he mentioned that his daughter suggested they pray for Ford, when he spoke of his father, and when he mentioned women friends who had rallied to support him. Writing on Twitter after the hearing, Trump said of Kavanaugh, his testimony was powerful, honest, and riveting. Democrats' search and destroy strategy is disgraceful, and this process has been a total sham and effort to delay, obstruct, and resist. The Senate must vote. A senior Republican Senate aide said that the first procedural vote in full Senate on confirmation of Judge Brett Kavanaugh for Supreme Court will be held Saturday. Beverly Sison, UNTV News and Rescue, USA.
A flotilla of small boats rescued all 47 passengers and crew from an Air Niugini flight that crashed into the sea short of the runway at an airport in the tiny South Pacific nation of Micronesia on Friday. The Boeing's 373 aircraft hit the lagoon surrounding the small island. The passengers and crew were taken to the hospital, but no serious injuries were reported. A spokesman for Papua New Guinea's Accident Investigation Commission said investigators would fly to the scene as soon as possible. A Japanese carrier joins naval exercises with a British warship that was headed to the hotly disputed South China Sea. Kath Dumaraos tells us why.
Japan's biggest warship, the Kaga helicopter carrier, joined naval drills with Britain's HMS Argyle in the Indian Ocean on Wednesday as the frigate headed toward the contested South China Sea and East Asia. Britain, Japan, and their close ally, the United States, have found common cause in countering growing Chinese influence in the region that they worry could put key commercial sea lanes linking Asia, Europe, the US, and elsewhere under Beijing sway.
This time we held joint goodwill drills with the Corral, an Indonesian Navy patrol boat. This sort of safety drill was held with the goal of building cooperation and interoperability with the Indonesian Navy.
The Argyle, Kaga, and its destroyer escort, the Inazuma, practiced formations on calm seas in the Indian Ocean near commercial sea lanes plied by container vessels and oil tankers. 3 helicopters from the Japanese carrier hovered above, monitoring the drill. The Argyle's arrival comes after Britain's amphibious assault ship Albion last month challenged Beijing's territorial claims on its way to Vietnam from Japan by sailing close to Chinese bases in the Paracel Islands in a freedom of navigation operation. China dispatched a warship and helicopters to counter the British presence and warned London that similar actions in the future could endanger talks for a possible trade deal that Britain is seeking as it prepares to leave the European Union. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
The tidal bore of Chantang River in East China's Zhejiang province reached its peak on Thursday. As one of the largest of its kind in the world, the Chantang tidal bore staged its highest waves in Haining City on the 18th day of the 8th lunar month, which falls on Thursday this year. The Chantang River tidal bore is a natural phenomenon known for its momentum, massive surging, and size caused by the gravitational pull of the moon. Thousands of people gathered on the riverbank to enjoy the amazing sight with different forms of tidal bores, including the one-line and crisscrossing tidal bores. And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, Rina.
Thank you so much, Stephanie C. reporting live from Hong Kong. The German delegation expressed its delight at being awarded the hosting rights for Euro 2024 on Thursday. Germany comfortably beat the only other bidder, Turkey, in a two-horse contest. The nation's Football Association President Reinhard Grindel said they will be working hard to upskill coaches at grassroots level and work with communities on improving training opportunities for soccer grounds. The tournament, featuring 24 teams, will revert to its conventional format of being held in a single host country in 2024. The Euro 2020 tournament will be staged in cities around the continent to celebrate its 60th anniversary. A Dubai shoemaker puts on sale a gold patent leather stilettos, described as a one-of-a-kind pair of shoes. Abby Valdez tells us why.
Gold, silk, and hundreds of diamonds. A Dubai-based shoemaker has debuted what it says is the world's most expensive pair of shoes, with a whopping $17 million price tag. At a time when some major fashion houses around the world are struggling to sell their high-end clothes, Jada Dubai, a design house with a modest social media following, on Wednesday unveiled a pair of gold patent leather stilettos trimmed with a row of sparkling diamonds. The shoes are displayed in a diamond-shaped glass case on the top floor of the palatial Burj Al Arab Hotel. Each one features a crowning jewel, a round 15-carat flawless D-diamond near the pointed toe.
You can see some potential buyers here, and that's the reason we have created, Dubai is a city of millionaires and billionaires, and as we are reaching towards the 2020 Expo.
The one-of-a-kind shoes are a European size 36, US 5.5, UK 3.5, and can be custom-made to the client size after they pay the full retail price. The idea for the shoes came from Karam Chandani's partner, 26-year-old British-Romanian Maria Majari, who studied fashion in Dubai and London. She noticed a gap in the market with ultra-high-end clothes and bags but not shoes. Dubai, a hub for gold fashion and home to Arab Fashion Week, has seen a growing number of tourists over the last few years, with more than 16 million people visiting the Emirate last year. Diamonds might last forever, but what about the leather? The price includes a lifetime warranty, which means that will be replaced if it wears out. Abby Valdez, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this September 28, 2018. On behalf of Angelo Castro III, I'm Rina Villamor Camara. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.